Welcome to the Arabesque Sewing Studio. Now in this video I'm going to share some simple tips for getting started with hand quilting and a simple method for removing distractions so that all you need to focus on is making beautiful stitches. Now if you love educational sewing videos that help you grow in your confidence, I'd love you to give this video a like and hit that subscribe button. So if you're ready to add a beautiful handmade touch to your sewing project, grab your project, a needle, some thread and your thimble and we'll get started. So I thought I would give you some tips on how to add some hand quilting to the base of your Smart Sofa station. Now what I've done here is I have machine quilted some rows of stitching along the length of the base, and then I'm going back and I'm filling in between those quilted machine lines with some hand stitching. And this just gives a really charming handcrafted look to your station, with also just a little bit of modern mixed in with this with the machine quilting. So you can really have fun with this and just enjoy adding some hand stitching. So all you're going to need to do this is some rolls of perlite thread, and I've got a range of 3 colours here that coordinate with the prints in my fabric. I've got a needle and I've got a leather thimble, and this is just really handy because we've got a couple of layers of fleece to get through on the base, so this can get quite tough on your finger if you are pushing it through. So what I'm going to be showing you here is how to get started with tying a knot, and how to bury a knot, and then how to work out the length of spacing you'd like between your stitches. So I'm going to start with the length of this dark pink thread. Now on this sofa station, I've actually been taking this apart and redoing it because I made a mistake where I didn't cut the base short enough. So what I'm going to do here is pick up where I left off with my quilting and quilt to the end of the row. So I'm going to show you how to start your row, so you can pretend that you're at the beginning of the row here. So I've got a video on how to tie a 2-second knot, and I'm just going to show you that again really quickly here. So you're going to start by putting your thread around the back of the needle. You're going to take the tail of your thread and pinch it between your thumb and finger, and then you're going to wrap the thread clockwise around the needle and pull it down, pinching it between your thumb and finger, and then grasp the shaft of the needle and pull this up, and you'll feel that there is a knot that has formed at the end of the thread. So this is exactly the size that you need to just bury in the layers of fabric, and that will get it nicely secured. So what I've done here is rule lines down the length in between each of the machine stitching channels that I've done. And what this does for you is it gives you a guide to stitch along, and it means that all you have to do is focus on trying to get the length of your stitches even and the gaps in between your stitches even. And there's no right or wrong way to do this. You can do really big stitches or really small stitches, but this does look a lot nicer if you can get them all the same length. So I'm going to start stitching on this line here, following this dark pink thread. I'm going to come in a little bit up ahead of that line, and I'm going to put my needle in between those layers so I can feel that that hasn't come down underneath through all of them. I'm going to push the needle out directly on the middle of that line, and I'm going to take the next stitch from the last one. So I'm going to pull it all the way up until I can feel that knot is right there, and then I'm just going to give it a tug and snap that back in between the layers, and that knot is nicely buried now, and you can pull quite hard on this thread and it will stay nicely locked in. Then I'm going to grasp the base and take the next stitch and try and make it the same length as the ones that I've been taking beforehand. And then I'm going to push the needle back up from underneath, back along the line and come up again and pull that through, and then pull that tight, and then continue stitching along this line. And what you're looking for here is even stitches. So I'm going to do this one again because that one's not as even as I would like. So if you're not happy with one of the stitches that you've taken, you're just going to pull the needle off the end and pull that back out, and then rethread your needle so put the needle back down again and take that stitch again, and just check this time that that's going to be more like the other ones that I've done. So then you're going to stitch your way down this line, just focusing on keeping your stitches straight and even. Now they don't have to be perfect, but what you're going for is consistency. So I hope you have fun practicing and coming up with your own version of a charming handcrafted smart sofa station.